The West Midlands Metro has been ferrying passengers between the Birmingham area and Wolverhampton since 1999, but even if you're a regular on the line, there may be things that you don't know about. So, in this two-part mini-series, I'm going to go through the secrets of the West Midlands Metro, with this part 2 episode covering the Hawthorns to Wolverhampton. Hello, you join me here at the Hawthorns station, just north of Birmingham. In part 1 of this mini-series, we've looked at the first around half of the stations, from Edgbaston Village over to here at the Hawthorns. In this second part of the secrets of the West Midlands Metro, we're going to look at the Hawthorns over to Wolverhampton. My tram's arriving to my first station. Let's go. Made it to Kenrick Park. There's not a lot to say about this stop. Now this is the first stop away from the Snow Hill lines. It is isolated by itself. This is the old alignment from Birmingham Snow Hill to Wolverhampton, which closed in I think 1972 and was reopened in 1999. Now the big question is, does Kenrick Park actually have a park, or is it just a phony? No. Here it is. Here is Kenrick Park. I mean, there is a big tower block in the middle of it for some reason, but it's got a play park, it's got a skate ramp and things, so seems rather nice. I believe that this park and the tram stop that it's named after is actually named after a guy called William Kenrick, who was local. He was born in West Brom and he founded a bunch of ironworks in the area, as well as being a Liberal Unionist politician. But that's about it for Kenrick Park. So I think it's time to go back to the Metro and go to the next stop. Now the next stop on the line is Trinity Way, but I'm not going there in this video as there's literally nothing to say about it, so I'm going straight to West Bromwich Central instead. And as that tram departs, welcome to West Bromwich Central. I can literally see Trinity Way just there. So yeah, I decided to skip Trinity Way. There was nothing there. So I've come here to West Bromwich Central instead. We'll talk about West Bromwich Central and then I'm going to have some lunch because I believe there's a shopping centre which will hopefully have some food. West Bromwich Central is one of the busiest stations on the line and is basically an interchange. There's a bus station literally just there, and well, it is right in the centre of town. West Bromwich did have its own station, closed in the 60s or 70s. I'll put the exact date on the screen now. I don't know off the top of my head. Nearby there's a pair of railway locomotive wheels, which have been preserved to commemorate West Brom's railway history. You join me just outside King Square Shopping Centre. The Metro's just over there. For some reason, no sign for the actual Metro. There's a little thing that says Metro Plaza, but you know, you wouldn't know. You're right outside the West Midlands Metro. West Brom has a population of I think just over 100,000. It's quite a big area. And the next stop is Lodge Road, one which has already featured on the Ranman Yo channel. You join me in the lift at Lodge Road station. Now Lodge Road is the least used station on the West Midlands Metro. I came here literally like last week, I think it was, or 2 weeks ago. Lift was not working. It is today though. And it's brought me up to street level here at Lodge Road. Yeah, thanks. It's a cool station, this one. Not only is it the least used, but you get a brilliant view. Woohoo! I thought I was dead. Yeah, Lodge Road. It's called Lodge Road for West Bromwich Town Hall. That's exactly where I'm going. So just behind me is West Bromwich Town Hall on Lodge Road. The Town Hall was built in 1874, Grade 2 listed in 1987. It served as the headquarters of the West Bromwich Borough Council until 1974 when Sandwell Borough was formed. It did still serve as the headquarters of Sandwell Borough for a few years until they moved into their dedicated site in Oldbury in 1989. The station itself, as I've already mentioned, is in a deep cutting, and it was the least used station in 2015 on the Metro. Now my plan is to skip Dartmouth Street. I don't think there's enough there to warrant me going there, and I'm instead going to try and get the 72, I think it is, bus to Dudley, which calls at the next stop, which is Dudley Street, Guns Village. Made it to Dudley Street, Guns Village. Now this station has a pretty funky name, Guns Village, simply because during the Industrial Revolution this area of the West Midlands had a large gun industry. It produced a lot of guns, and the station lies on Dudley Street. The station itself is quite nice. It's a very nice mosaic tiled pattern, almost in like an arrow formation, which is cool. And then the reason I came here, as opposed to Dartmouth Street, is the statue, not the statue, the tower. There's a tower just on West Brom High Street, just a 5-minute walk down there. The clock tower was erected in October 1897 for Alderman and first Mayor of West Bromwich, Reuben Farley. Next tram in 3 minutes, we're going to take that to the next stop, Black Lake. Here at Black Lake. I'm not sure if you saw in that video that tram leaving, but there was actually, for some reason there's a tram not in service. I think it's doing driver training, but there was a tram, the tram that I just got off, which was leaving, had its pantograph down. I think this one, yeah, that one's just put its pantograph down as well. I'm not sure if it's because there's issues with the wires past that point. Nearby to the tram stop is the 0.7 mile long Ridkicker abandoned branch canal, part of the Wednesbury Old Canal, which linked to the Birmingham New Main Line Canal. The canal was abandoned in the 1960s and opened in 1828. The near 1 mile long canal was originally built to serve local collieries and ironworks, but fell out of use by the 1960s and is no longer navigable, with the entrance blocked by a new road. But literally right next to the station, that piece of pretty nice canal. I've written down that it's also near a Premier Inn, so I was clearly running out of ideas and things to see. But yeah, there's a canal. There's a place called Bulls Hill somewhere near here. Don't laugh. We've hit the Wednesbury stations. There's 2 of them. I think that's the next one. I'm not sure which one it is. I'll have to consult a map. Wednesbury, Great Western Street. The Wednesbury stations are interesting, so we're definitely getting off at them. And then we're on the home stretch. Made it to Wednesbury Great Western Street. Of course, this station is in Wednesbury. This station is the hub of the West Midlands Metro, the West Midlands Metro train care depot, the training academy, and basically anything to do with staff goes on in this building. That is where shifts start, where shifts end. Usually here there's crew changeover. That's why that tram is only just leaving now, because they have to change the driver and the guards and things. By the way, the guards are amazing. The staff here are very nice. I love having the physical ticket checks. It's really nice. But also Wednesbury will be a much busier station, or much busier area in terms of trams, because this is where the junction will be, and I'll overlay the footage of it. And this is where the junction will be for the line to Dudley, which is apparently opening at the end of this year. I don't believe it. I think it'll probably be early 2026. Now we'll talk more about the depot at the next station, because the next station plays a more important role in the actual movement of trams. Although the depot is right next door here, the trams don't actually come out to this station. You join me here at Wednesbury Parkway. this station is the only stop on the whole of the network to have more than 2 platforms, because here it has a little third platform. It's not necessarily a bay platform, but it is used because this is the only line that has access to the depot. But yeah, in the mornings and the evenings, trains either start or end their journeys here on this third platform at Wednesbury Parkway. Obviously Wednesbury Parkway is a parkway station. You can see behind me there that it looks pretty reasonably filled. And here comes a tram in that direction to Edgbaston. I also now have made an educated guess as to why the pantograph was down between here and Wednesbury, because the pantograph is now up. I believe it's because they're doing work at at Wednesbury. They're doing work at the junction. I think they've relayed or redone all the catenary. So they've redone all the overhead wires in preparation for the extension over to Dudley. It all looks very new, so I reckon that's why. I wonder if it's not on yet, or if there's some teething issues with it. That's why they're running battery between Great Western, Wednesbury Great Western, and Black Lake. Well, it's a car park. Don't really have much to add. The actual depot itself has recently undergone a £43 million extension to allow for the new 21 CAF Urbo 3 trams to be added to the fleet. This is in order for West Midlands Metro to be able to run the new service to Dudley, which is due to start in late 2025 or early 2026. Now though, it's time to leave Wednesbury Parkway and go to the next station, Bradley Lane. I'm here at Bradley Lane. There's the train off to Edgbaston. I've got 3 minutes here, which is good because there's not a lot to say. This station was built to serve, well, there's quite a few houses just over there and in that direction as well, but it's had quite a lot of recent development. Here is the Park and Ride, which was built in 2019 or 2020, I believe, and yeah, there's a bunch of new houses over there as well, which you can see just in the background now. And yeah, there's not really much to say about this. There's a nice big field there, which looks as though it could potentially house an expansion of the car park, which seems to be pretty well used. I mean, it is a weekday, and it seems as though most of the spaces are full. There's a few empty ones, but I imagine that maybe early in the morning, every single one was taken. I'm going to cross over. This is another island platform station, and that's what, 2 in a row now? But yeah, I'm not sure why there's an island platform here necessarily. There seems to be loads of room either side here to be able to fit a main platform. I don't know, maybe it's cheaper. This is one of the lesser used stops. Well, its usage has increased, I'm sure, because of the Park and Ride, but before that it was one of the lesser used stops, which is maybe why it now has a Park and Ride. Tram is just coming behind me, you might be able to see it. I'm not going to call at the next stop, Loxdale, because there's nothing there. We're going to go straight on to Bilston Central. The next station is Loxdale. There's very little to say about this stop, except that it's near to the Wednesbury Oak Loop Canal. Here at Bilston Station. This is quite a cool station. I believe it's the first station so far to have staggered platforms, as you can see behind me. So by the looks of things, there was an old Bilston Central station, but I don't believe it is in the same site. Looking at pictures of it, it seems to be just after the bridge, so I either believe it was just here or just down there. It wasn't here, which is in between the 2 bridges. There's 2 entrances to Bilston. There's one there on a lift, and there's one here on a lift shaft. I think that means we should go from one entrance to another, Nick Badley pointless journey style. Let's go from one Bilston Central station entrance to the other Bilston Central station, metro station entrance. There's a lift. I'm going to go in. Those lifts are genuinely terrifying. When they get to the top, they almost get to the top and then to street level, then they go down a little bit, and it's scary. It's like you're on a drop tower. Anyway, it seems as though this entrance comes out right next to the bus station. So I'm going to walk through the bus station and go to the other entrance. Maybe I won't use a lift because I might die of scared. Bilston itself is most known for Bilston Market, which is actually currently closed and is undergoing a £5 million refurbishment. It's also known for its former ironworks and steel production and had a population of 35,000 in 2021. British Steel had a plant here which closed down in 1979 after 199 years of production. The tram's coming now. Need to be quick because it's arriving. You join me on the tram. The next station is the Crescent. Thank you. I'm not getting off there because I don't think there's enough to warrant me getting off for 7 minutes. So instead, the next stop that we'll get off at is Priestfield. The Crescent is the closest tram stop to Hickman Park and is also nearby to the abandoned Bilston West Station, which was situated on the former Oxford-Worcester to Wolverhampton line, which closed in 1962. The old track bed can still be seen from Google Earth. Priestfield is the name of Gillingham's stadium, which has no relation to this video. Now here there is a park and ride facility, apparently. I'm just trying to find it because there's no signs for it. So, anyway, here's Priestfield car park. Yeah, look, there's some more reserve seats, saverspace.com. I guess that's because, well, I guess that shows that this parking facility is used quite well if people are having to save a space online. Now, Priestfield is the boundary station for Zone 4 and it is situated right on top of Priestfield railway station. What is interesting is that it's the last station on the former Wolverhampton rail line before it goes onto the road just down there. I'll get a video of that on the tram when we leave. You can see when we join onto the road alignment. You sort of see it on Google Earth where the old alignment would have, I think it would have crossed over just over there by the road. I think the next station is the Royal. Priestfield station is certainly in need of some TLC, with bricks missing from in between the tracks. But for now, let's go on road running to our next station of the Royal. The Royal, we are very much in Wolverhampton inner city now. Now this is the first station wholly in Zone 4, Priestfield on the border. There are only 4 zones on the West Midlands Metro. I'm unsure if there's going to be a Zone 5 for when the Dudley extension opens. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I assume there will be more zones when the line opens to Birmingham International or wherever it's actually going to go. This bit is still the 1999 Wolverhampton to Birmingham Snow Hill bit, and then after the Royal we go onto the new bit to Wolverhampton Railway Station, and at Wolverhampton Railway Station we'll go and visit the old termini of the West Midlands Metro, which was Wolverhampton St George's, and why it may be used again in the future. In all honesty, there's not too much to say about this station. It's sort of in quite an irrelevant place. On my notes I wrote that it was the only on-street station to begin with, even though it's technically not on the road, but this was the only on-road section to Snow Hill, and also it's the only station in between Priestfield and Wolverhampton until the new extension was built and opened in 2024. But we'll get to that, we'll get to more about the new extension in a bit. The 720-metre extension of the Metro from the Royal to Wolverhampton Station and Pipers Row commenced in 2018 and was supposed to finish by 2020.
but mounting delays due to contractors and other supply issues meant that it finally opened in 2023. The extension features catenary all the way up until Piper's Row, where the trams have to switch to battery to continue to Wolverhampton Station. All in all, the extension takes just 3 minutes to cover by tram. Let's now join me at the first station on the extension, Piper's Row for Wolverhampton Bus Station.
Just been an announcement. There's a police investigation going, which means that trams are terminating at Bull Street. Piper's Row opened in September 2023. It opened not alongside, but sort of to serve the Wolverhampton bus station, just over there, which was rebuilt somewhere in the mid-2010s.
The stop itself is now the most centrally located stop to Wolverhampton city centre, making it a rather busy stop. The stop is the closest to the University of Wolverhampton, St Peter's Gardens, and the City of Council Wolverhampton headquarters. But now let's go to the final stop on the line, Wolverhampton Railway Station. Currently the only Wolverhampton terminus on the Metro, which is open.
So yes, I have made it here to Wolverhampton Railway Station. The newest termini on the West Midlands Metro, opening 3 years late in 2023. Now this whole area was redeveloped. The railway station was redeveloped around the same time with its nice new building, and this whole area used to be the station car park, but it's transformed into a sort of drop-off 20-minute parking stay and the tram stop.
The stop obviously serves Wolverhampton Railway Station, but is also very close to Wolverhampton Low-Level Station. This station was on the old line from Wolverhampton to Birmingham Snow Hill, which the Metro repurposes most of up until Priestfield. The station itself has just the one platform, but, like Piper's Row, it has marble tiling, with the name of the station engraved into it.
The tram stop itself is pretty basic, like the rest of them, but what's more interesting about Wolverhampton Station is what it replaced. Because yes, there used to be another tram stop serving Wolverhampton. Well, there still is. So let's go and wrap off the video at the former Wolverhampton St George's tram stop. Explain that stop, why it's abandoned at the moment, and why it may be put back into service in the next few years.
Yes, Wolverhampton St George's tram stop opened in May 1999 as the original terminus from Birmingham Snow Hill. It was eventually mothballed in September 2023. The stop was originally built as an island platform with 2 platforms, but the northern track was removed in 2015 to make way for a new coach bay, which was barely used, and is now used by local bus services, which is why it's given the name Wolverhampton Interchange. The stop was originally going to be kept open along with Wolverhampton Station, with works being given to upgrade the stop, although as of July 2025, there are still no services at Wolverhampton St George's.
So yes, Wolverhampton Railway Station branch opened in 2023, and that meant that one station had to close. This station, Wolverhampton St George's, was the former termini of the Midlands Metro. Opened in 1999 along with the rest of the Metro to Birmingham Snow Hill, it's being continually kept updated, so this is technically still an open station, but maybe mothballed is the better word. According to the information posters, it was only meant to be until autumn 2023, and then the station was meant to reopen. I assume with both stations having an every 10-minute frequency. This of course has not happened. Instead, the service frequency is only every 10 minutes from Wolverhampton Railway Station. What would make sense is if when the new line to Dudley opens, which is meant to have an every 10-minute frequency to Birmingham and every 10-minute frequency to Wolverhampton, it would make sense for that service to use this station. Wolverhampton St George's, the only abandoned station on the West Midlands Metro, although technically not abandoned, and hopefully will be used in the future. Anyway, here at Wolverhampton St George's seems like the perfect time to say thanks for watching and to do an outro to this video. I hope you've enjoyed this 2-part mini-series on the secrets of the West Midlands Metro. I know it hasn't been exactly like a Geoff Marshall video would have been on the secrets of, but I didn't want to just directly copy him. I sort of wanted to do my own thing, my own sort of vlog style video. For now though, all I have to say is thanks for watching. Do like, subscribe, check out my social media in the link in the description, check out my Patreon or my membership, also it links in the description below. But for now, goodbye.
And of course, a huge thank you to all my YouTube and Patreon members, including first class members Aaron Barry and Crispin McKee, business zone members Andrew Bowen, Anthony Harris, Anthony James Moore, ARK, Conor Greed, Clive's Travelling Trains, Craig Mitchell 43, Dave CDF, Gordon Walker, J Teco, JBNEL, Lewis C21, NJTE, Real, Scott Wheeler, That Transport Girl, and Will Ho, as well as all my standard premium and standard class members. You can get your name on this list from as little as £2.99 a month, or support me from as little as 99p a month, and get access to exclusive perks, such as access to videos early. Thank you very much, I really appreciate all your support.